evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris is back for some more Hearthstone Arena action. We just recently did Rogue and Hunter, and although I'm trying to avoid Priest, it's been a while since I've played Priest, pretty much the longest amount of time that could possibly happen. And I do have a Priest Dominance quest, so I don't want to miss out on all that juicy gold. Let's see if indeed the light shall bring victory and start this draft. Well, the Arcane Golem is decent, the Mind Control tech can sometimes be a coin flip, but the Fine-Size Summoner is just such amazing removal bait. Very rarely will it actually fire and let you do anything great. I mean, if it does, that's amazing, but for the most part, I'm just happy to have this to bait out my opponent's removal, because most people will do everything in their power to kill this thing, and I'll take that here. We can get an expensive late game thing, or a Dark Iron Dwarf. Man, I do love the Dark Iron Dwarf a lot. I think the Sen'jin is a cut above the Silvermoon Guardian, and the Stormwind Champion is really great. I'm going to take the Sen'jin Shield Master, though. I mean, they're both basically premier cards for their cost, but I'm beginning to note that there might be a problem with the way that I count endgame creatures. What I basically always do is just count, like, how many total I have at 5, 6, and 7. But, I mean, there is a really big difference between 5 and 6, and a really big difference between 6 and 7. So Stormwind Champion at 7 is quite expensive. I'm going to take a Premier 4-drop here, rather than go for a Premier 7-mana card. Okay. Well, the Scarlet Crusader is good, although I'm finding more and more that there's a lot of cases where it's not good. I mean, there's cases where it's just amazing. But there's a lot of cases where it's not good. Like if you're up against a mage or a rogue or a druid and they can just pop the divine shield. Or, you know, you're up against a shaman and you're always afraid of earth shock. So I have to give the novice engineer some serious consideration here. Because it is nice to get the card draw here. And especially if you've got any kind of pump stuff. People tend to leave this thing alone. And then all of a sudden you can buff it and then do some great things with it. I'm going to trust my instincts here. I'm actually going to grab the novice engineer for that card draw. And for the potential to have a good creature on the board for buffing later. Okay, well, Inner Fire is a combo card. I'm not going to worry about it. Thoughtsteal, I'm finding is really good. Whenever Priest played against me, it always pisses the hell out of me. Cult Master is good as well. It's also card draw, and it's a 4/2 body, so it's worth some consideration. I've already got 2 4-drops here. Thoughtsteal kind of fits into my curve here. You know what? I'm going to take the Cult Master. I think it's just a really good card. It also lets me trade in my Novice Engineer for another card, and I think it's just a bit more consistent than the Thoughtsteal, so we're going to go ahead and grab it. Okay, so here we have the one playable 1-drop in the game for the neutral card, besides Argent Squire. This I'm not a super big fan of, so Lord of the Arena. We'll take it for late game and taunt. Not my favorite late game, not my favorite taunt, but we will grab it right there. So we're getting a 4-drop here. Well, it's definitely the Dark Iron Dwarf or the Sen'jin. The Dark Iron Dwarf, there are times where I'm kind of screwed and I can't play it, even though because there's nothing else on the board. So I'll take the Sen'jin here, which can always be played. Shadow Word Pain, I will take pretty much every one of those that I see. Okay, well, the Mind Control, I mean, you have to take it right now. I think if this costs 10 mana, I don't know, I would definitely be tempted by one of these other cards, because this is quite expensive. But at 8 mana, I'll keep on playing the game as it is in its current form. Okay, well, the Holy Fire is removal, but so is the Auchenai Soul Priest, plus it's a 3/5 body, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that. I got a bit of a 4-mana spike thing going on here, which I'm not a super big fan of, but such is life. Ogre Magi I can pass on. We'll take a Fen Creeper for some taunt and some big beef. Okay, so here I've got 2 2-drops already. I don't feel like I need more. Is there anything good to Panda back? I mean, the Novice Engineer actually is a really good Panda target, and the Dark Iron Dwarf can be a good Panda target as well. But I'm going to take the Thoughtsteal here for some more card draw, and because it is a pretty strong card. Alright, these 3 drops are extremely underwhelming, so I'll take a Northshire Cleric. Well, these are both good 4-drops, but again, I'm kind of spiking at 4 mana here. I've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 4-mana cards, and the Dark Iron Dwarf is great, but there are also times when it's unplayable, so I'm going to grab a Premier 6-drop here in the Boulder Fist Ogre. Aha. Well, we got... These 6-drops are okay. Well, this one I don't like. This one's okay, but I like the Silverhand Knight. Basically, the main disadvantage of the Silverhand Knight compared to the Archmage is that the Silverhand Knight dies to Flame Strike, and so does his Squire, which sucks. But at the moment, I don't have any actual damage spells. I mean, I could get a Holy Nova or a Holy Smite, but you never know. And then if I don't, this is just a 4/7 for 6, which is a bit underwhelming. So we'll go ahead and grab this guy that's a bit more cheap and a bit more consistent. Well, I don't like the Gorobashi Berserker because too many of them have fallen to the wrath of a Stampeding Kodo. I'm just really not a big fan of it. This is not useful at the moment. I'm not going to speculate. So although this is not my favorite beast, I will take it. Basically, if your opponent plays like a Frostwolf Grunt, which is the 2/2 taunt for 2 mana, this Panther looks embarrassing. If your opponent plays a Holy Nova or a Consecration, this Panther is embarrassing. But if your opponent plays, like, say, like an Ancient Brewmaster, the 5/4 4-mana panda, or like a Booty Bay Bodyguard, the 5/4, 5-mana taunt, then this thing is all of a sudden really good. Okay, Light Spawn, I do like it a lot. Silence is a card I'm a fan of, but I'm going to take Light Spawn, I just like it too much. Okay, well, here I could take a Panther or I could take the Smith, obviously, unless I thought Steal a Weapon. This ability is not going to come into play, so I would just be taking it for the stats. Well, what do I have? I only have one 3-mana creature. I mean, I guess I might as well make sure I have the 3-mana creature. So we'll take another Panther, though I'm not that thrilled about it. Okay, here we'll take an Acolyte of Fame. This is really cool for Priest because you can heal it up potentially and get more cards out of it. The Cult Master is tempting, but I already have one. Two can sometimes be awkward, and I already have a lot of 4-mana cards. If I don't fill out my curve with 3-mana stuff, then the Cult Master is not going to be impressive. Okay, I don't want this Ancient Mage, because again, spell damage is currently doing 0 for me, and so this in this body for 4 mana kind of sucks. I guess we'll take a Lightwell. Not my favorite card, but we'll grab it. Ah, Shadow Word Paid. I'll take every one of those that I see. Power Word Shield. I mean, this is card draw, so is the Acolyte. The Power Word Shield I'm going to take because it's incredibly good on the Northshire Cleric. If we play the Northshire Cleric on turn 1 and your opponent plays like a generic 3/2 for 2, it's really embarrassing. The Power Word Shield can get you out of those situations to some extent. Okay, well, I do need some good 3-drops. All I have is 2 Jungle Panthers and an Acolyte. That's not exactly great, so I can take the Iron for a Grizzly for that. But the Darkscale Healer is nice. I'm a bit low on late-game stuff. I've only got, really, I mean, 4 creatures at 5 or more, and then a Mind Control. I'm going to take this. It's a Chillwind Yeti that heals my team. I think it's more important to have a late game than to fill out another 3-mana creature. Ah, Temple Enforcer. I've been waiting for you. Where have you been? So... how greedy do we get here? I mean, the Stormwind Champion would be good. So now all of a sudden I have a lot of late game. I kind of wish this were an Iron for a Grizzly now. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this would be 8 creatures at 5 mana or more. Now most of them are 5 and 6. So do I just take the generic 7/6, or do I take the thing that buffs my team? Well, I'm gonna trust my instincts. I'm gonna grab the cheaper of these 2 cards. I wanna be a little bit mindful of my curve. Ah, there's a Holy Nova. I've been waiting for you. Where have you been? Oh god, another Akanai Soul Priest? It's tempting. The problem with the Soul Priest is that with Lightwell, it's a non-bow. The Lightwell only targets friendly character, and then it burns them. So this is a case where the Lightwell shall burn you. I don't want 2 Lightwells. Man, do I take this just because it's basically a 3/3 for 3? I mean, I need them. Look at this. I don't have a 3-mana creatures. I guess we'll take it just for the curve reasons. Okay, this is just a generic 2/3 for 2. How badly do I need those? Well, I've got a Lightwell, an Obvious Engineer, and a Pine-Sized Summoner. The end. I think the Tiger, although it's one of my favorite creatures, I need to have things to play on turn 2. Let's grab that Blood Raider. Still could do some 3-drops, and I don't like this. All it's buffing is the Holy Nova, and the odds of this actually buffing a Holy Nova are pretty minuscule, so we'll take the Healer here. And the only playable card is the Questing Adventurer, so we'll take that. Well, this draft is a little bit tricky. I got 2 Shadow Word Pains, which is very good, of course, but I didn't see any Shadow Word Deaths. And I also had a little bit of curve issues where I, for a while, didn't have any high game cards, so I took one. I took a Darkscale Healer over an Iron for a Grizzly, but then I all of a sudden got a whole bunch more packs that had expensive stuff, so then my curve actually ended up being a little bit too lopsided. So we'll see. I might have some trouble, for example, getting my Cult Masters to actually do things. I might have some trouble removing my opponent's creatures. We'll see. Galdron the Hunter. Okay, well, this looks good. I'm just going to keep this hand. So I don't want to coin out a Pine-Sized Summoner because then all I could play on turn 2 is a 3-drop, which I have 0 of, so that's pretty pointless. What I'm probably going to do, I mean, depending on what my opponent does here, is just play this generically on turn 2. It might trade against my opponent's creature, it might draw some removal, whatever, I'm fine with either of those things. And then, on turn 3, I can coin out Lightspawn or Ascension, and then play the other one on turn 4. That's the plan. Alright, my opponent's got a slow start. That is fine. And by the way, when I say slow start, I mean, it's not like it's that improbable to start out with, you know, nothing on turn 2. So I don't mean to, you know, be disparaging when I say that so-and-so has a slow start. Just, you know, it's one of the starts a person could have. He gets the 4/4 Taunting Bear. Well, let's take a look at the situation. So I could actually pay a coin to drop out this Fen Creeper, which is a 3/6. But it's really not any different than a 3/5, which I can play for 3. Now, I can also play this 5/5, which will actually kill the bear. But that will let the bear kill off the Pine-Sized Summoner. So I guess we're going to go for the gold, go for the glory. We'll play Ascension Shieldmaster. All things considered, this is probably the best thing my opponent could have gotten. I mean, the charging pig could have killed the pint-sized summoner, but I'd rather get something that trades with the pint-sized summoner than something that kills it outright. And the Leok I could have killed with Shadow Word Pain. And then still coined out a Panther. Ah, that's actually a really darn good Timberwolf. It just kills my makes the bag kill my creature. Well, now I wish I'd played the Fen Creeper. That would have been great. And he's got a Panther, which is also getting buffed. Wow, that is like one of the best Timberwolves I've ever seen. Man, you know what would be great here? Holy Nova! Come on! Ah, Jesus. Well, balls. Balls, balls, balls. I could Shadow Word Pain this thing. Ah, man, this taunt is just so amazing. If this had been the Leok, for example, it would have only, the bear would have only made it a 3/5, a 3/4. If this had been the Charging Pig, it would have just already killed the Pint-sized Summoner. Bah. Well, we'll see if this sticks. In theory, both of these creatures will need to be traded into the Fen Creeper. So if my opponent has another buff, then I'll probably just lose the game. But if he doesn't, I should be okay. Now for Cobra, I don't mind that so much. That's fine. Man, he's got a lot of beasts. Holy crap. This is like Beast City over here. What is going on? Well, the good news is that I've got... I got this Fen Creeper to stick, so I don't immediately lose the game. Ho-ho. Okay. Let's think. I would actually like to attack this and maybe heal it. Does it make a difference if I heal it? No, it really makes no difference if I heal it. I mean, other than it not dying to an Arcane Shot. But if my opponent had an Arcane Shot, he would have clearly used it against a Pint-sized Summoner. I could play a Cult Master, but nothing of mine is actually dying at the moment, is the funny thing. Yeah, so it's not really that good. I could play a Panther to try to, like, kill some stuff. Alright, here's what we'll do. We'll kill this bear. I think we gotta kill that bear. That bear's a menace. We're gonna kill off this Timberwolf. That's a menace. Now, the Cobra can kill the Fen Creeper, but the Fen Creeper is gonna kill the Cobra back. If I heal the Fen Creeper, I think much more likely is my opponent will use the Panther to kill it. Yeah, so he's going to use the Panther to kill the Fen Creeper, and then the Cobra can kill the Pint-sized Summoner, and then stick around. So I could actually get rid of the Cobra with a Shadow Word Pain and still have enough mana to play something. While the Senjin would actually kill the... Yeah, we'll do this. We'll do Shadow Word Pain, and we're going to play a Senjin for some extra protection. So, what's going on here? Well, I've got... I guess I have a better board than my opponent. He's got 5 cards to my 5. One of them's a coin, but I've seemed to get another one. That trap, Well, we'll see how he plays this out. That trap could be an explosive trap. Or it could be a freezing trap. Could also be... Oh, man. If it's a snipe, that would kind of suck. Well... Balls. I'm going to play Cult Master here. See if it's a snipe. It's not a snipe. Let's see if it's a freezing trap. It's not a freezing trap. Okay, so it looks like it's a mind... It looks like it is, in fact, a explosive trap. Well, I was hoping it wasn't that one. But now I'm going to lose the Cult Master, which is a bit sad. So the Cult Master just basically was 3 mana, cycle a card. Yeah. Such is life. And I think... I don't think it's worth it. Well, I think it is actually worth it to coin out a light spawn. And the reason it's worth it, despite me having this bevy of 3-drops, one of which is the Questing Adventurer, which would have liked the coin, is the fact that if my opponent has a multi-shot, I don't want what I play right now to just die alongside the Senjin. So that's why I used up the coin. Corehound, wow. Well, this is a really great illustration of why the Corehound's a terrible card, which I say every time the Corehound comes up, because now my 4-drop trades for a 7-drop. Yes, please. Do that. I might as well get this party started, I suppose.
Give me a quest.
We'll put the stealthy creature in the middle to stop any explosive shots from being super effective. He could still fire an explosive shot over here and then kill off the Panther and the Questing Adventurer. That'd be a pretty good move. This Mind Control tech is unlikely to ever be more than a 3/3 for 3. Ah, wow, that is a really good combo here. So he gets to kill my Senjin and live to tell about it. This is unimpressive. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and play a Holy Nova here. It's a 2-for-1, it buffs my Questing Adventurer. Gives me some protection. Swing. Play another Panther. Again, putting the stealth in the middle against explosive traps. If I left the questing adventure in the middle, an explosive shot, excuse me, would actually have killed it and both panthers. Now the explosive shot only kills him and one panther, which is a huge difference because this is 4 damage here, so I gotta keep that in mind. Well played. Alright. I did have a lot of damage there. 8, 13, plus more. 14, I guess, after I cast the mind control tech to buff up my questing adventure. Well, no, that was a pretty good game. My opponent had a slow start. I got a pint-sized summoner to stick. There was a window. There was definitely a window where he could have run away with the game. It was after he flipped the lucky, well, not super lucky, it was a 1 in 3 chance, but anyway, flipped the lucky 4/4 taunting bear, and then had the buff to kill off my Senjin Shieldmaster. If then he had had a way to deal with my Fen Creeper, he would have probably run away with the game, because he had total board domination then. But because he didn't, I was able to profitably kill his creatures, getting card advantage, and then I had the Shadow Word of Pain for his Cobra, and that was that. Kevin Cool, the Shaman. Alright. Well, the Shadow Word Pain is definitely a keeper. Novice Engineer is definitely a keeper. We'll send back to Lord of the Arena, and we'll keep the Soul Priest. Not really for the whole damage thing, because now it makes Holy Nova into a non-bow, but more so because it's just a good body. A 3/5 for 4 is just great. Alright, there's really no reason to coin out this Engineer. I've seen people do it. You're basically trading a coin for a card, but you're going to get the card anyway on turn 2. What else am I going to do on turn 2? Nothing? I'm a priest. Maybe like if I were, a warlock and I could draw a card on turn 2, that would be something different. So this is a little bit sad. My opponent did have a 2-drop, so what that means is that the Novice Engineer, it didn't cost me anything, because it replaced itself, but it didn't do anything great for me either. It was basically like a 2-mana draw card heal for 3. Oh no, my opponent's actually going to go balls to the walls Dickens here. Well, I could play a Lightwell. And then I could coin out Shadow Word Pain on the Tauren Warrior to stop Lightwell from dying. That's an option. I could just play Shadow Word Pain and not play Lightwell. That's also fine. And I could also coin out a Soul Priest here. Now the 3/5 just basically threatens to own his stuff. And then he might, like, trade one of his creatures in, and then just to get rid of it. But I'd actually like to hang on to the coin, because I think, man... Well, if I don't use the coin now, when am I going to use it? Next turn I'll be playing this, and then these. So I'm not really ever getting the coin out anyway. Yeah, might as well go ahead and use the coin now. I'm going to sit on the Novice Engineer. Running into this would be a huge mistake. It would just enrage the warrior, and then let him kill the Soul Priest all by his lonesome. Now, the Fairy Dragon cannot be targeted by spells or hero powers, so it's safe, but the Tauren Warrior is not safe. I can run the Novice Engineer into it, and then use the heal. So he's actually going to enrage himself that way. I guess he has removal for the Soul Priest, like a Hex maybe? Oh no! Oh no! Oh my gosh, does he not have removal for this? Well, if he doesn't have removal, then that was a huge mistake, because basically now I just get to kill his thing with my Soul Priest. And I have to be very careful here. I cannot play a Lightwell. That is a huge non-bow. Like, I could play the Soul Priest and kill the warrior, and then play the Lightwell, and the Lightwell could, like, kill the Soul Priest. That would obviously be no good. I could use Shadow Word Pain on this, but why do that when I can just do this? So I have actually gotten some card advantage here, because I got to kill a creature with my hero ability, and I got to kill another creature with this card. So even after he kills the Soul Priest, he's going to have to use a card to kill it, unless he plays something big and, like, owns it, but that's somewhat unlikely. And, I got card advantage. So I'm down 21 life. Oh, Nightblade? Psh, alright, I have 0 respect for that card. Okay, so we have to be very careful here, because again, if I play the Darkscale Healer, it will actually just damage the Soul Priest and damage me, so I don't really want to do that. Well, one thing I could do is I could use the hero ability to burn the Nightblade and then kill the Soul Priest off against it. The problem is... the problem with that is that then I only have 3 mana left, which isn't enough to play anything impressive. Except for this Lightwell. Bah. Well, Lightwell will be a big distraction. My opponent will have to do something. He'll have to... Well, the best thing he could play is like a Spellbreaker to silence it. But assuming he doesn't have that, he's going to have to like attack it and then do some more damage at it, so it'll be saving me life, which is good because I'm getting a little bit low here. I do have the heal and I do have this other heal, but I'm getting a bit low. Ah, man, I wish I could actually just play this thing and not have it burn the Soul Priest. That'd be super great. I mean, I could trade the Soul Priest in... well, here's an option. I could trade the Soul Priest in for the Fairy Dragon and just play this thing. Restore 2 health, be at 20. He can get me down to 16, but my 4/5 owns is 4/4. I've got more healing coming in the form of Holy Nova and the fact that I'm a priest. Yeah, I think that's a good move. Or I could just burn this, trade, play the mind control tech. Nah, we'll do this. So my opponent's at 30, I'm at 20. He's got a big life lead, but still I'm high enough that I'm not that worried about being burnt out just yet. He's got 5 cards to my, Jesus, 7, and they're all real cards, and I'm owning him on the board. Mana Addict is a terrible, horrifically bad card. Does he have something else for 2 mana so I could actually mind control attack something? Nope, not a chance. Okay. Mind control, that's great. Let's see here. I think what I would like to do, I don't want to Shadow Word Pain this because it's just so dumb. We're going to go ahead and do this. And I think what I'm actually going to do here is play Tazdingo and heal myself up. I'm going to try to heal myself up as much as I can. I could have played a Lightwell too, I suppose, but I'd like to just get the direct healing in while possible. Maybe I should have just played the Lightwell. I mean, that was probably going to heal me for 3. It just might have healed my own creature is the thing. Lightning Storm, well, that's a pretty cool move. He kills off my Chillwind Yeti, and then the Mana Worm gets buffed enough to kill this engine. He is overloaded for 2 next turn, which is nice, and he's got that thing. Okay. Well, it's a tricky situation here, because basically if I play the Lord of the Arena, it technically holds up against the Panther, but any sort of buff and it'll die to the Panther. This is part of why I don't like Lord of the Arena. I could play a Holy Nova, but that's just killing the Panther and that. So we'll, yeah, we'll just play Lord of the Arena and hope for the best.
The gates are open. Job done.
I mean, if this survives the turn because my opponent has no removal and no buffs, or has removal but doesn't want a 2-for-1 himself, then, Flame Tongue Totem. Bah. And he's still not playing up to 4 creatures. Notice how annoying this mind control tech is. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's frustrating. Well, I think now is the time when I really need to Shadow Word Pain. Yeah, we're gonna have to Shadow Word Pain on the Flame Tongues. That's way too much damage. And here, I think I'll play a Lightwell. And I'll also play a Cult Master. It's a bit risky playing the Cult Master here, that's for sure. But, I felt like it was better to get this down and then just waste this. I mean, with the totems here, it's not super unlikely that I'll actually be able to steal something. He has the silence. Of course he does. He's gonna give that Wind Fury. Oh boy, well I know what I hope I'm stealing. Jesus. Okay, well, let's think about this. I could actually steal this Wind Fury thing. That seems a bit silly. And then just run my Cult Master into that, which kind of sucks. Or I could just play Mind Control attack and hope for the best. I mean, I could get a totem, which is the annoying thing. I do need to kill this thing. Holy Nova doesn't quite do it. Shadow Word Pain can't target it. I'm gonna try this. I mean, it's a coin flip. Might as well go for it. And we got the best possible card. Alright, I guess I really shouldn't complain. Let's go ahead and play the Temple Enforcer on my Cult Master, and then we're just gonna go ahead and kill that guy. That was definitely lucky. I could have just stolen like a random totem, but I still would have like lived. I could have Shadow Word Pained on the Wind Fury dude, and then I could have Cult Master killed the Spellbreaker and still been in the game. Okay. He's just gonna get me down. I think I'm okay though. I think I'm safe. Well, he's got 6 mana still. Let's see what he's got first. He's got to be afraid of mind control. You know, even at 10 mana, this would be okay. We made it to the end game. Alright, well, I can't actually kill off any of my creatures. Can I win, though? I mean, he's at 30, but we got, what, 10, 17? Yeah, I can't win. But I'm just going to use the Holy Nova now because I've got Mind Control behind it. So we're going to play the Questing Adventure. We're going to start that party. We're going to play Holy Nova. To kill everything he has. I think it's more important to heal me right now than the Cult Master. So swing, 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 and swing. Well, just like that, we're threatening the kill. Kevin Koo, the shaman. Gonna go down like a shaman. Alright, he gets the 1/1. It's Doomsayer. Okay. Why I think the Doomsayer is a terrible card. Volume 517 bajillion. What's that you say? Everything's dying on the next turn? Oh, yeah, right. Okay. Alright, that was a good game. And by the way, I don't mean that insultingly on my opponent. I mean, he might have had a lame epic pick. Lord knows I've been there, taking a Doomsayer just because it was the only thing that was barely tolerable. That was it then for this video. As always, I'm going to just do a couple of games in the first video and do the rest of the run later. So those are pretty solid games. If you enjoyed it, please do like and or subscribe. And if you want to see how the arena ends, then by golly, stay tuned because it's going to be coming up shortly. I'll see you in a bit.